WNBA Players Association, the union, the league, finally meet face to face for the showdown of all throwdowns. Shout out to Bobby Flay. If you know, you know. Head to head, talking CBA, negotiating a deal, and it went exactly as we expected it.
The WNBA is living a paradox. On one hand, it's experiencing a golden age it has only dreamed of for 3 decades. Sold-out arenas, record-shattering television ratings, and a rookie superstar whose name is on everyone's lips. But beneath this glittering surface, a dark and bitter civil war is raging. The league is teetering on the brink of a complete and total meltdown, a self-inflicted implosion fueled by deep-seated jealousy, staggering financial delusion, and a shocking disconnect from reality. While one young woman is trying to build an empire, some of the league's most powerful veterans seem hell-bent on burning it all to the ground. This isn't just about basketball anymore. It's a high-stakes battle for the soul of the league, and the knives are already out.
A lockout is looming for the WNBA, and I think it's about time that people start recognizing that that is probably the direction of what is going to happen with the WNBA, as yesterday's meetings didn't seem to go all that well. And that's directly from the mouth of players and with what's going on in their comments, which they made yesterday or even today. I'm not sure when they made the comment.
Everything changed the moment Caitlin Clark declared for the WNBA draft. Before she even stepped onto a professional court, her Indiana Fever jersey became the top-selling jersey of any athlete, in any sport, beating out legends like Patrick Mahomes and LeBron James. Arenas that once had thousands of empty seats were suddenly selling out, with visiting teams seeing attendance figures jump by an average of 150%. Her games on ESPN and ABC are pulling in over 2 million viewers, numbers the league hasn't seen since its inception in the 90s. Clark isn't just a player, she is a walking, talking economic stimulus package for a league that has been hemorrhaging money for 30 years. The WNBA was handed a golden goose, a once-in-a-generation talent with the star power to finally make it a mainstream success. But instead of rolling out the red carpet, a powerful faction of the league's old guard seemed to declare war on her.
The owners putting their foot down and saying, "Are you ladies out your damn mind?" The Players Association asking for abnormal things. "Oh, but we want 50% of revenue share. Oh, but we want this and we want that." Yeah, it didn't go over too well, folks. It didn't go over too well. And with every statement that we hear from the Players Association, from their representatives, from their executive director, and every non-statement we hear from the league, it just continues to kick this can down the road, heading toward a WNBA lock.
The hostility was immediate and visceral. This wasn't the typical welcome to the pros rookie hazing. It felt disturbingly personal. It was the infamous flagrant foul from Chennedy Carter, a blindside hip check away from the ball that looked more like a back alley assault than a basketball play. It was the constant, uncalled elbows to the ribs and cheap shots after the whistle, all seemingly ignored by the officials. Angel Reese, another high-profile rookie who quickly aligned herself with the anti-Clark sentiment, made headlines for a hard foul to Clark's head, a move she celebrated as if she'd won a championship. This felt less like competition and more like a coordinated effort to physically and mentally break down the one player single-handedly saving the league from obscurity. The jealousy was so thick you could feel it through the screen, a bitter poison seeping into the game itself.
We have all been wondering, what are these players' demands in these CBA negotiations? What are they asking for? Are they asking for Rolls Royces? Are they asking for Jason Tatum contracts? We don't know what they asking for. We wanted answers, and Gabby Williams gave them to us this morning. Oh, man, she was cooking with hot grease. Gabby Williams was cooking with hot grease. She was clocking tea, is what they call it. Gabby Williams went in this morning about how bad the CBA negotiations went with the owners and how the players' words went in one ear and out the other.
But the on-court aggression was just a symptom of a much deeper disease festering behind the scenes. The real battle, the one that could truly destroy the league, is being fought over the Collective Bargaining Agreement, or CBA. With the sudden influx of revenue from the Clark effect, the players see a chance to cash in, and they're demanding a full-blown revolution. Reports claim they're asking for a massive increase in salaries, fully chartered flights for every team on every trip, and a jaw-dropping 50% share of the league's revenue. To the players, it's about getting the respect and compensation they feel they've long deserved. But to the owners, who have been subsidizing the league at a loss for decades, these demands sound like they were written in a fantasy land. This isn't a simple negotiation. It's a powder keg with a lit fuse.
God, do I hope there's a WNBA walkout. I do. I hope the women of the WNBA walk out like they're threatening. The WNBA's Players Union. They announced that the players will opt out of their current collective bargaining agreement with the league. That's right, they're opting out. They have that option. They announced just a day after the WNBA finals concluded that the New York Liberty, New York, which is good for the league, won. Big market. It won. Caitlin Clark, not a big market, but a big star. So they've won. But the league has lost, as we've talked about, $40 million even this year.
Leading this charge is the WNBA Players Association, but the idea that it's a unified front is a complete fabrication. The union's own president, Nneka Ogwumike, is a respected veteran, but she's not immune to the league's drama. Her messy and public departure from the Los Angeles Sparks was clouded with reports of friction and a total breakdown in her relationship with the front office. If the leader of the players' movement couldn't maintain harmony within her own team, how can she possibly unite an entire league of competing egos? Especially when so many of them secretly, or openly, resent the very person responsible for their newfound bargaining power. The cracks in their solidarity are becoming gaping canyons, revealing internal divisions between the haves and have-nots, the stars and the bench warmers.
You see from all these different interviews is there's a certain lack of understanding of business. And while I will always champion for people to get as much money as they possibly can, and they should fight for every dollar that they possibly can, they need to have some level of leverage and information that proves their stance, proves that they earned this compensation that they are so very much.
And just as the pressure was mounting, one of the league's biggest stars dropped a bombshell that exposed the truth. While publicly fighting for a better WNBA, New York Liberty star Breanna Stewart announced she was co-founding a new alternative 3-on-3 league called Unrivaled. This wasn't just a side hustle, it was a stunning vote of no confidence in the very league she represents. Imagine a top executive at Apple publicly announcing they're starting a rival phone company because they're not sure Apple will survive. It's a move that screams you don't believe in the future of your own product. While the WNBA ship is sailing into stormy waters, one of its supposed captains is already building herself a lifeboat, a desperate act that revealed just how shaky she believes the main vessel to be.
In the statement, the league kind of ignored that and just put in whatever it is that they wanted. Now, it is no doubt that the WNBA is growing, right? We have new teams that are being added to the league that are going to be up to 18 in the next few years. We've seen record-breaking views, so it shouldn't shock anybody that the players are asking just for a way to reap some of those benefits. And from the looks of it, because it doesn't look like negotiations are going very well, it does look like the league is trending more towards a lockout, which obviously would not be good for anybody because right now this is at a stage of growth. And
at this point, she could take a nap mid-game and still do more for the league than the entire roster of professional grudge holders. The envy is loud.
The fear that the CBA negotiations were a train wreck was publicly confirmed when Seattle Storm guard Gabby Williams decided she'd had enough of the corporate silence. She went public with a raw account of how the talks with the owners went down, and it was brutal. According to Williams, the players' pleas and demands went in one ear and out the other. She painted a picture of a league ownership that was completely dismissive, that treated their proposals as the naive ramblings of children. This wasn't a negotiation. It was a lecture. The owners put their foot down hard, and the message was cold and clear. You are out of your minds. Williams's comments ripped the polite veil off the positive discussions and showed the world just how vast the chasm between the two sides really is.
The officials know what they're calling and what they're not. They know what to look for and what not. Caitlin Clark is a really big deal. And I wonder if they're not calling fouls on her on purpose. Now, I'm not saying that's why she got hurt. I mean, I'm not saying that. But I wonder, just watching these games, are they not calling fouls where she gets hit on purpose because the backlash and what could happen, the optics of, Caitlin Clark getting all these foul calls, getting superstar foul calls, what that would do to the WNBA conversation and attention to the game.
With the negotiations failing, a number of players have resorted to a toxic and ultimately self-defeating PR strategy. Instead of letting their game do the talking, the narrative has shifted to one of perpetual grievance. Any valid criticism of a player's performance, any question about the league's flawed business model is increasingly met with reflexive accusations of racism or misogyny. This tactic is a shield designed to shut down legitimate debate and paint anyone who dares to ask a tough question as a bigot. But it's having the opposite effect. It's alienating the new, curious fans who came to watch basketball, not to be condescended to or lectured on sociology. They are actively pushing away the very audience Caitlin Clark brought them, all to avoid accountability.
The first thing, you gotta pay attention to the breadcrumbs. Pay attention to the breadcrumbs. She said it's a problem having games, 3 to 4 games a week. 3 to 4 games a week, which is crazy to me. I like 3 games a week is not that. Y'all want more money and less games is what it sound like. It sound like y'all want more money and less games, bro.
So I don't think we're going to be able to play everyone 3 or 4 times.
While the players are waging their war of words on social media and in post-game interviews, the league owners have adopted a strategy of near-total, deafening silence. They aren't fighting back on Twitter or releasing emotional statements defending themselves. They don't have to. They hold all the power, and their most powerful weapon is the cold, hard truth of the league's finances. For nearly 30 years, the WNBA has been propped up by the NBA, losing an estimated $10 to $20 million every single year. The recent revenue spike from the Clark effect is a godsend, but it's a single drop in a bucket that has been leaking for decades. The owners know this. They know the demand for a 50% revenue share is utterly absurd for a business that isn't even profitable. Their silence isn't weakness. It's a cold, calculated power move, a quiet dare for the players to face reality.
Another celebration in the WNBA dump is ruined prematurely. This dump of a league, they just can't catch a break. This was supposed to be a celebratory day in the WNBA. Wednesday, July 9th. This was supposed to represent the immaculate return of the Great White Hope, the icon of icons, the star of stars. Mainly because, in their 3 decades of existence, the WNBA has never seen a star. The only stars WNBA players get to see are the ones in the sky.
This leads to the most devastating question of all. If the players go on strike or the owners declare a lockout, would the casual American sports fan even notice? The brutal truth is, for most of the country, the answer is a resounding no. This isn't the NFL or the NBA, where a work stoppage would dominate national headlines for months. A WNBA shutdown would be a minor blip on the sports radar, and it would completely and utterly extinguish the precious momentum that Clark has built. The league is still incredibly fragile. A lockout wouldn't just be a pause, it would be a death sentence. The new TV deal they are hoping for would vanish. The casual fans would move on. All the progress would be erased in a single, monumentally stupid act of self-destruction.
So it looks like new CBA negotiations are just not going well whatsoever. So according to reports, it seems like the league gave the WNBA players their new CBA offers and the players went and rejected it. Now, although we don't know the exact details as to what the league has offered, we know some of the reaction that the players have had. Like, for example, Brianna Stewart from the New York Liberty spoke out saying that it's extremely frustrating and basically they've ignored everything that they have asked for. Now, according to reports, the players are looking for improved conditions increase in revenue sharing and an increase in annual salaries.
And standing at the turbulent center of this hurricane is Caitlin Clark, trapped in a truly impossible position. She is the sole reason the players feel emboldened enough to ask for more money, yet she is the public target of their on-court aggression and off-court resentment. She is being pressured to stand in solidarity with a union full of people who seem to view her as the enemy. If she sides with the players, she risks alienating the owners and the league that signs her enormous endorsement deals. If she stays silent or sides with the league, she'll be branded a traitor by her peers for the rest of her career. She is a 22-year-old rookie being used as a pawn in a bitter 30-year-old conflict, all while trying to survive a season where she's public enemy number one.
For what could be a make or break when it comes to the new CBA for the players. And some of the news that we have seen of late has not really been too favorable towards the players. It's been a lot of people coming up with various quoting, like Asia Wilson was kind of stunned by thinking what the owners think of them. Sasha Sabali's been vocal, Angel Reese has been vocal, and it's been a entire black cloud, I would say, hanging over this season.
The WNBA was handed a winning lottery ticket, a chance to finally break into the mainstream and become the viable, profitable sports league it has always aspired to be. But instead of rallying around their new messiah, a bitter and entitled old guard is threatening to tear the whole temple down. They are leveraging Caitlin Clark's unprecedented popularity to make demands the league cannot possibly meet, while simultaneously working to undermine her success at every turn. It is a spectacular, breathtaking act of self-sabotage. The league is at its most important crossroads ever. It can either build an empire around its new queen, or let jealousy, greed, and delusion burn the entire kingdom to the ground. And right now, the arsonists are holding all the matches.